Hey everyone, of course, back here with Zach, the marijuana expert. We're going to be diving into kind of a general marijuana video, his insight on both the market, but also on other companies, talking about the industry and things like that. First things first, Zach, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. You've got a nice background.
Thank you very much. Yeah, this is one of our industry leading lights over tops and plants in Oklahoma, one of our new partnerships with Tegrity Gardens. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, no, awesome. Well, here, I kind of wanted to kick it off. Obviously marijuana is all over the place. Kind of just a general, maybe we start with a kind of introduction of cannabis, but more so as a, where the industry is growing or going for people. No pun intended, of course.
Sure.
Obviously people are waiting for it to be accepted on the federal level. Some people thinking it's a couple years away. What's your feeling? And also, what needs to happen in the space to move it forward?
So as far as where the industry is going, it's all about market differentiation. It used to be who could provide the highest THC content, and I think the consumer is becoming a lot more educated about some of the other constituents in the plant, some of the other cannabinoids. Obviously, we're in the CBD era where CBD is in everything, but there are other ancillary cannabinoids, thing like CBG, CBN, CBC, all of which play different roles in the body. And so I think companies that are able to provide a greater offering and diversity in terms of products for specific applications, we see are doing the best. There certainly is the culture of, well, just give me whatever is the cheapest or give me whatever is the highest THC. But certainly for the connoisseur or even the working professional that wants to use cannabis for a specific application, they don't care about getting bombed out of their mind. They care about this particular strain helping with their ulcerative colitis or their inflammation or some neurodegenerative disease. So it's more of a targeted approach. In terms of investing in the space, you really have to do a lot of due diligence because I think you're seeing a lot of charlatans, unfortunately, where it's a lot of fancy marketing, it's a lot of words. But if you do your due diligence and you go back and you see, okay, what does your infrastructure look like? I mean, how qualified are your growers? Are you working with a geneticist? What are your plans for execution? We've seen obviously that initially when a lot of these companies came on the market, they got massive evaluations because, for example, one entity might have 1,000,000 square feet in Edmonton, but no plants, no lights, no nothing. But they have the potential to grow this much in this square footage, and they were evaluated as such. And then so I think we certainly have seen in the last year market capitulation, where the prices of a lot of these publicly traded companies has come down considerably. And so there are a lot of really good companies out there that have a stable business model, have a great balance sheet, and have some heavy hitters that are allowing them to execute on a high level.
Yeah. Well, we'll hop into, your thoughts on investing a little bit deeper, but curious before we even get there, from a regulatory standpoint, from obviously someone who's an industry expert like yourself, what are you guys seeing, on the federal level? Is that approaching, what needs to help move that along? Do you think there's a little pieces still missing from the puzzle that need to be completed before it's officially federally accepted, or what's your opinion?
My personal opinion is that it's just 100% political. I mean, all of the data and evidence is out there to support that cannabis is a far superior, far safer alternative to opioids with respect to pain management. It's helping epileptic children, it's helping geriatric populations. And, the states are just going like dominoes in that now we have 30 plus states that have either decriminalized it or have some degree of legalization. So I think it really comes down to the nuts and bolts, the dollars and cents. We're obviously, we've been hit hard. We've been almost crippled financially by COVID. And, there's an incredible bifurcation from what's going on in Main Street from Wall Street. And I think when you look at, wow, we're doing horribly economically, yet we have this plant that could generate tremendous amounts of tax revenue. on the federal level, it just makes, perfect sense. So quite frankly, I think that legalization is around the corner. I wouldn't put it past one of the candidates for the upcoming election to throw that on their docket and say, if you elect me, then I'm going to legalize it, and we're going to generate all this tax revenue, and it's going to go to schools and infrastructure and healthcare. Because the truth of the matter is cannabis and hemp are incredibly safe. Nobody is dying from these things. There is no such thing as a cannabis overdose. I mean, a cannabis overdose is essentially a nap. You're not going to the hospital like with opioids and some of these other drugs. So I just think that it's been taking a long time to get up to this point, but I think we're very close to it going over the edge and for it happening.